All right. First and foremost, as always, Jeanette, special thank you to you, Hubert, the entire TradeThirsty team for having me yet again to reach some more folks with the exciting message about market profile here today. Always a pleasure to be here. It's like I wake up on this Saturday morning like it's Christmas morning as a trader. So it's, I mean that. I really do. My wife says, "Oh, you're going to go do your thing. You must be doing a TradeThirsty webinar." I say, "You bet. I'll see you in a couple hours."
Well, we're glad to have you back, and you know, it's yours to take. You have an hour.
That's awesome. Okay, just a quick, before I get too far along, I want to make sure everyone can see my screen. It should be my mug there in the middle there somewhere with, of course, our host TradeThirsty and the title Mastering Market Profile with this simple 1, 2, 3 approach. And that's my goal. Over the next hour, I'm going to teach you market profile, which I think for a lot of people has been maybe a confusing topic since its emergence in the 1980s to the present. How many of you in attendance here are using market profile now? If you're an MP lover already, type Y in the chat box. That helps me know who my super enthusiasts are. All right. Well, for those of you that this is a brand new method to, I hope I inspire you to learn more at the very least, and hopefully a few extra steps if you're really excited about what you see here today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey here as we move along. Give me just a moment. All right. All right, just quick risk disclaimer. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version of this here. It means anything we look at here today, of course, is going to be for educational purposes only. As traders, of course, you must accept the risk of loss associated with the decisions you make. And although I'm going to do the best I can to empower you with the knowledge and some fantastic tools, as seen on Bloomberg, you do need to take 100% responsibility for the decisions you make from here on out. All right, in this webinar, I'm going to teach you the hidden pitfall with traditional volume analysis. Now, how many of you use volume now? Probably just about every one of you, right? It comes default on your charts. I'm going to tell you about the pitfall with the volume analysis all by itself in this webinar. I'm also going to teach you why market profile is used by pros daily and how. I'm going to teach you valuable time-saving techniques and the tools that help you find that time savings. I'm also going to show you how to pinpoint high probability trades in just seconds, and I mean it, 2-3 seconds max. I'm going to show you a very simple 1, 2, 3 approach that you can take on each and every trade you make, and it'll outline the entire blueprint for your trades. And then most importantly, some action steps to better trading immediately. You do not need to wait beyond the end of this webinar to take these steps. There's me right there. That's where I'm sitting right here, right now. That's my mug. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my experience and what landed me here sitting in my satellite office across from my home in my personal office and giving a webinar on a Saturday with TradeThirsty. That's really what it comes down to. Why am I listening to this guy on this Saturday? Well, the reality is I spent a great deal of time, nearly 2 decades, on the inside. And here's kind of my, I guess, Cliff Notes version of my experience. I spent 14 years as a senior futures broker. I'm a trader. I've been a senior market analyst at times, a vice president in the industry. I've supported well over 2,000 traders in my time. I'm a technical trading expert. I do speak internationally, as you'll soon see. My products are featured on Bloomberg and 10 other industry-leading platforms. They're used, as you'll soon see, in a variety of venues way outside of just the retail space. But here's what I want you to take away from this. This is really not about me one bit. It's about my story empowering you to learn about what goes on the inside. That's a little bit different than what goes on when you get in front of your computer to make a decision each and every day. So really this is about my time on the inside helped me to realize firsthand a very serious problem, and being the Minnesota nice kid that I am, I couldn't ignore it. And here's what it is. There's a huge information gap between the professional traders. You see those pictured there on the left. That's what a brokerage firm looks like. I spent, again, nearly 2 decades in that venue, sharing information, of course, amongst a privileged circle. And then you over there on the right, and I'm sure the coffee is good for that gentleman. You could see the resources, the information, and so forth are certainly in a much smaller box in terms of availability. So there's a huge gap of knowledge in between that. And what I'm going to teach you here today is that market insiders don't want you to know, because if you knew what they knew, certain professionals in the industry would have a hard time justifying their existence. This is when I no longer get the Christmas dinner invites in the industry. It's reformed industry insider reveals all, and then all of a sudden I don't get invitations to the Christmas dinners. That's a joke, of course. I actually get too many. So here's the reality. If you knew what they knew, guess what? You might not need them anymore. You might not need those advisors. You may not need those brokers, those analysts, those research report writers. And it means they all get pink slips issued by you, the investing public. So during my time in the industry, again, with 2,000 traders following my lead, I had a lot at stake, not only for me personally to make wise decisions for my own trading, but I had thousands of other people that if I could help them be better traders, it would be good for me too, wouldn't it? So I took a different approach. My approach was to create better traders. Now, this is nearly 16 years ago. And if you create better traders by teaching them, they gain the knowledge, they trade better, typically they trade more often, and in my role, I would make more money as well. So it was this kind of win-win situation that I really couldn't wrap my head around why other industry insiders wouldn't embrace. And I realized it was their own worry about making their job, their role with their customer obsolete. So that was very unique. So it wasn't long after I started teaching the market profile method to retail traders, individual traders, that the pros took notice. And you can see that's actually us in Hong Kong Bloomberg office, my partner John up there, and then there's me down the bottom left on the Bloomberg stage. And we've been empowering institutional traders to learn the very same method I'm going to teach you here today and the very same tools that I'm going to show you today, but on a institutional scale. Look at the attention level of those in attendance there. Bank traders, hedge funds, advisors, prop traders, brokers. These are the trusted advisors that you instill your hard-earned money to make decisions for you. So it's encouraging to see that those, if you want to call them the smart money, are smart enough to know that they need to go out and they need help too to structure their decisions. But guess what? I stayed true to Main Street. Most people, when their products kind of hit the stage at the Bloomberg level, they turn their back on Main Street. And why do you think that is? Well, it can be quite lucrative to have a contract with Bloomberg and only service very large banks and institutional trading firms. You have fewer customers and you make typically more money. Sounds pretty good, right? 80-20 rule in business. You guys know that. Well, guess what? That didn't sit well with me. So not only do we continue to support the institutional traders as we have since 2011, I continue to relentlessly travel the world on some very impressive stages, you'll soon see, to teach the message of market profile. So these are some actual images. I just wanted you to see that a lot of these faces inside here look similar to yours. They're hungry individual traders that want to be empowered with the same tools that the pros use for their own personal benefit. Those are actual seminars, actual pictures, and so forth. There's me in Silicon Valley not long ago teaching a hungry group of investors eager to learn the market profile method I'm going to show you here today. You can see here Walt Disney World earlier this year. That's me in front of a huge group of hungry investors eager to learn. Here's me again at Walt Disney World. This was actually just in September, not that long ago, last month. And you can see, again, I'm passing along the message of market profile. So you probably wonder, why am I showing you all this? I'm showing this to you because it is a dying breed of educators out there that actually are not afraid to get out in front of people. Everyone likes to hide behind the screen. Okay, they hide behind the screen, and webinars like this are great because you can reach a lot of people. But I think it's also important to realize that when you're buying into a method, a product, a process, that you are dealing with people that you trust, people that are not afraid to get on the other side of the screen, get in front of a podium to shake hands and tell it like it is. So you always get that from me. All right, let's talk a little bit about market profile basics. Who's excited for that? Who wants to learn about market profile today? Holy cow. Well, of course. That's why you're here for the fourth presentation out of 4 today. Thank you for sitting in. And by the way, Scott, Brian, and Matt, I just want to say this. I don't know if they're still tuned in. Fantastic presentations, guys. I mean, absolutely fantastic information. Really, really well done. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about market profile basics. We're going to basically look under the hood. Okay, so before you can really appreciate market profile, you have to understand some of the basic metrics that are commonly used out there in the trading world. Okay, so the first one at the top of the iceberg, and the reason I have it at the top of that kind of iceberg graph there is because it actually reveals the least amount of information that ultimately can power a forward-looking decision. So bid offer analysis. Okay, this is, you'll hear a lot about order flow. It's kind of the hot topic in analytics out there right now. Now remember what bid offer analysis really is. It's a proposal. It's a buyer who says, hey, I'll buy your car for $20,000, and the offer, again, the seller saying, well, I want to sell it for $25,000. Okay, it's a proposal for it's a negotiation that may or may not actually come to be. I don't know about you, but when I run data on what the going rate for a vehicle in a local region, it's not what some guy wants to buy it for and what some guy wants to sell it for. It's what those two agreed on. Now that's what's going to move us down the ladder there into price action. So price action is that meeting of the minds between buyers and sellers. Okay, it's fact. It happens in the market. A buyer and seller agree to sell that car, and one agrees to buy it for $20,000. It happens in the market rapidly when we buy stocks, right? We got to find someone who's going to sell us that stock when we buy it. Volume. So what is volume as we move a little bit further down into the iceberg? This is a history of liquidity over a period of time. Remember when we look at volume, it's that graph at the bottom. It's a vertical histogram. The taller the histogram bars, the more activity or liquidity is occurring over that period of time. And this is where I'm going to take you here today at the very bottom. Market profile. Okay? Market profile is a factual landscape of how much relative volume has aggregated over a period of time and at what specific prices. Prices is the most important distinguishing factor between just volume, a liquidity measure, and market profile. Think about that for a moment. When you make a decision as a trader, are you able to just tell the market, hey, today I want to buy something? Or, hey, today I want to sell something? The answer is no. You need to tell the market, of course, what instrument you want to buy or sell, but you also have to tell the market at what price. Now, you could use a market order, which is your way of telling the market you're going to take the best bid or offer that's on the board. But most often, you're going to pick a price, right, using a limit order. So for me, it always was a little perplexing when I hear people say, hey, I trade and I just, trade based upon where there's big liquidity in the market. And I say, yeah, but how does that tell you what direction to trade or what price? And then they scratch their head a little bit further. All right, let's talk a little bit more about how market profile evolves. Okay, so this is the normal distribution curve. Any stat geeks out there like me? All right, whole bunch of you. Okay, all right. So the normal distribution curve, when we gathered statistics, just in general, not even trading related, okay, we put them in a bell-shaped curve like this, where we aggregate 70% of all data points in, I call it the meaty part of the bell-shaped curve there, okay, within one standard deviation of the mean. Okay, now it's going to be really important you're aware of that as we're going to talk about how that turns into market profile here. As you get additional standard deviations, second, third standard deviations away, you could see fewer percentages or data points fall within that zone. So when we're going to take the normal distribution curve into trading, what we're looking for is trading data that we can profile. So look at this here on the left, in the bottom left. Notice how this is kind of a typical what a volume graph might look like, right? The taller the histogram bars there, the more frequently an occurrence of anything has happened, okay? So in this case, when we plot price and volume in this format, we're revealing the relative frequency of volume at a certain price, which is our very first step to determining the probability of an outcome. Because as you're going to soon find out, trading is not about certainties. It never has been, and I'm sorry to tell you, it never will be. It's about probabilities, okay? What we do is we flip it sideways in market profile. So we take that histogram, and since we have, remember the price that things move is on a vertical axis, we got to flip it sideways so we can see where those tallest bars are when we flip it sideways. So we can then look to the right, as you're going to soon see when we look at some examples, and we're able to see exactly where the highest and most frequent activity is occurring, the highest volume prices. Why is that important? Well, again, coming back to the car example, if everyone continues to gravitate to a $20,000 fair price for a car in your region, that must be the going rate. It'd be good to know that, wouldn't it? So when we're seeking actionable information in market profile, in market terms, we're using these standard deviations, okay? And we're trying to find that all-important 70% zone. It's actually 68.3 to be exact. I'm rounded up to 7 to keep it simple, okay? But we want to find where the market spends the most amount of time and the least amount of time. Okay, so here we go. We've taken this graph, and this is just kind of an Acme graph here. And we're going to, the red line that you see depicted right there shows kind of the upper band of the most frequently occurring prices. Okay, the lower band of that 70% zone is going to be that green line right there is the lower band. And in between, we're going to call that the value area. Okay, so you're going to know that term. If you go on to continue your journey in market profile, you're going to hear that. We also call it the fair auction. Okay. The fair auction, meaning anything within that range, that MSRP range of that car, the buyer and the seller is getting what's believed to be a fair price because, well, statistically proven, 70% of the activity and others agree with that. When you move above the red line or below the green line, you're in these extreme situations. You're kind of in these outlier zones. You've either paid too much or you've paid too little. This is one of my favorite graphs, okay, that sums up market profile in literally one screenshot. Okay, so I want everyone to turn their attention to the left. I'm going to grab a drawing tool here to make this interesting, okay? Here we go. Look at this one right here. Now I'm going to ask someone, and I want everyone to play along, okay? I'm spending a Saturday with you too, so let's play a game. Tell me what price is the most popular price. Okay, you can see it's a chart that's obviously taken a much longer period of time ago, but it's going to exemplify something that's really important. So tell me the price. You see it ranges from about 1063 to 1077. You could probably guess the year. We should do that separately. Guess the year of this chart. Okay, so we got 1071, 1072. People are guessing 1073. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about how this comes together. So the guesses that I'm seeing are coming from around 1071 to 1073. Okay, so market profile starts with a standard bar like we see right here. Okay, so this is just an Acme 30-minute bar, and the market's going up and down, and there's your price bars. Now, what we do in market profile world is we change things into letters. So now we're going to draw our attention to this graph right here, the one to the right here, and we assign letters. Okay, that's what Pete Stoudemire, who's the pioneer of market profile, the method, did. He created a letter-based system so then we could distinguish, instead of just having a line represent the range of the day, we put B, C, D, E, F, again, letter-based system, so we can determine which these different zones. So I could tell you zone E, zone F, and you'd know right where to go. If I said that previously on that first one, you wouldn't know where to even go. So we call this a time price opportunity. Now what we do in market profile, and this is kind of the important thing, is look what we do. We come to this graph and we shift and slide everything flush left. Okay, and the reason we do this is because, as you'll soon see, when we collapse the TPOs, the time price opportunities, now we get a graph that looks like this. Okay, now this is what kind of the early market profile looked like. Okay, now I'm going to ask you the same question, and those of you that guessed earlier, I want you to put your vote in again. Now, knowing what you know about volume aggregation and statistical analysis and distribution curves, now what price is the most popular price? I'm seeing a whole horde of 1072s. Exactly, because it's easy to see now. Look at. Now, again, compare that with what we do, or what non-market profiles do when they look at a market. We're looking at the exact same market, and it's impossible for someone to make that determination without a little dumb luck. But now when you turn it into market profile going this way, look what, you can see it. 1072, and it took you, how quickly were you able to see that? Very quickly, right? Like instantaneous. The eye associates taller as being more. Well, in market profile, the further extends to the right as being more. We're making some good progress. Let's keep going. All right, so now I'm going to move this into kind of how we approach things here at TAS Market Profile. We realized a long time ago that it was not the letters that were important. It was just the visual representation of being able to see exactly where that all-important value area 70% zone is. So being active traders ourselves, We didn't want to trip over the alphabet on our charts. It's kind of clumsy. It doesn't look so good. There is some versions, some letter-based versions of market profile still out there. They're not terribly attractive to the eye, but what we did is we made it a color-based system because it actually is proven. You can look this up online thanks to the power of Google that can fact check, right? Look it up and you'll see that the human brain actually recognizes colors, guess what, over 100 times faster and efficiently than it can read words or letters. So we said, well, let's go with colors. So we made a red color zone, as you see up above, to identify the value area. And then we gave it some other tiers. Purple when you're just outside, and then these blue color zones are way outside the standard deviation. The most important thing you need to be aware of is this. So when the market breaks above what we call the value area, we want to trade in that direction. We want to be long. Okay, we want to trade in the long direction. When the market is breaking and closing consistently down below the value area, again, the bottom of that red zone, we want to be bearish. So really, this is just about determining balance versus imbalance, right? So in a single time frame context, these familiar, again, red and green color lines, when the market's in between the red and green line or that value area, what will we expect the market to do? Well, time's going to pass, but the market's not going to move vertically. So we say that balanced markets are an expression of time dimension. And then if you look at the graph over on the right, you'll see that imbalanced markets, of course, those that head higher or lower, uptrend or downtrend, those are imbalanced markets. If they were perfectly balanced, we'd have no movement. Everyone would be agreeing to sell and buy their car at $20,000, and it would just become the standard flat rate to buy a car, which, by the way, would be a good deal based upon what cars really cost these days. That would be a used car in today's market. So the graph on the right is an expression of time. An expression of price, I'm sorry, because it is moving vertically up or down that vertical price scale that's on all of our charts. So really success in trading for you is dependent on your ability to accurately differentiate between these two dominant phases because they are mutually exclusive. You can't be in a balanced market and simultaneously be in an imbalanced market. Here's the big problem. One of many problems that independent traders have. Again, this is coming from a guy who has supported over 2,000 traders, so I know the mistakes. Some of them I made myself. I'll be very candid with you. So one of the big pitfalls I see many traders make is they have already decided how they're going to trade on a day. Today I'm going to be a breakout mode trader. Today I'm going to be a swing time frame trader. I'm going to trade the range. They've already decided exactly how they're going to trade. Well, guess what? Markets don't care how you want to trade. They're going to give you what they're going to give you to work with on any given day. So what makes sense? You trying to impose your will on the market, or you, through some accurate tools, being able to say, I know what kind of market we have, therefore I'm going to be the one to adjust to what I know is a factual reality of what you're working with on a daily basis. Well, of course. So what we did, and we're the only market profile provider out there that has had the gumption, really, or the confidence to do this, is we created an indicator. It's known as TAS Boxes, but it's really just an explicit identifier of that value area. So we not only give you, you could see a representation of where the value area is based in market profile, but then we've made it so much simpler. Okay, that's why even the professional traders on Bloomberg that find us, they come to us because they want to save time too. You think they want to waste a lot of time looking at 100 charts before they find the one good one? No, 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 no. Do you think they want to waste a lot of time second guessing what side of the market to trade, where to put the stop, and when it's time to get out? Yeah, I can tell you that's a no. We do consulting for some of the biggest prop trading firms, banks, hedge fund managers, CTAs, you name it. They're our clients in our division. So what you're looking at here is that high value area is the red line. Okay, that you can view it as kind of the balance area of that top value area. The green line represents the low value area, or the bottom of we call it the bottom of the box, or the demand area. So it's where buyers, if they want to get a good deal within the fair auction, they want to buy down by that green line. POC is called point of control. Now it's a middle line there. It's aqua in color. We've given it, and that's a zone that's a projected mode, MODE. Now remember what mode is. Okay, you got mean, median, mode. Mode is the most frequently recurring price or data point. Okay, it's not the average. That's the mean, right? Adding everything up, dividing it by the number of points. Mode. Okay, so it's an important part of our analysis as well. Let me show you the 3 simple steps as promised to making a decision based in market profile on every single chart. Okay, as advertised, I'm going to break this down into 3 simple steps using the same example. So step 1 is we want to eliminate the wrong side of the market. Notice how I'm not, painting a pie in the sky about, the idea is to swing for the fence and hit a big winning trade. Nope. And I teach this to prop trading groups in New York City all the time. The first thing I do is say we're going to first eliminate the side of the market that does not have probabilities to have a fruitful outcome. Because at the very least, you're not going to be trading on the wrong side. So we determine what side to trade on based upon the market closing. And you can see in this case, we close above that top red dotted line. That's going to tell us to eliminate trading on the short side of the market. So step 2, if you draw the attention to the bottom right, step 2 is we're going to calculate risk. So when it comes to stops, a good place to consider putting your stop is going to be across the value area. Because remember, that the value area is just another way of saying this is a popular area of people to agree on price. It's the busiest part of O'Hare Airport or JFK or whatever busy airport city, whatever you live in. So it's hard for the market to get through these congestion zones. So putting the stop opposite, or in this case down below the green line, would be a good, wise place to think about putting a stop. But you got to calculate the risk to make sure it's right for you. Okay, so now what we do is as the market heads higher, now follow my cursor here. I'm going to grab this right here. Okay, so we're long, market's going up, 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 up. Fine. Okay, this is just an Acme example. I'm going to show you some live ones here shortly. We put the stop down here, and then we trail it up as these new value areas form, right? We're trailing it up, and as you can see, I'm talking about step 3 being manage risk with your trailing stops and targets. So when we close back inside a value area, we're back in balance. That's what being in a value area means. You're back inside a place that has been reestablished. Now that vehicle, the norm is 25,000. That's the new going rate for that car that previously was 20,000 that we just talked about. So guess what? Now that's a good place to sell that car. Okay, so notice how you get the full construct of what you need for the initial entry. Okay, going back here, initial entry here. Here's your stop, when it's time to trail and where to trail it, okay? And you also get targets. Everything you need to manage any trading decision from start to finish. Okay, so everybody with me so far? You guys are eating it up. All right, you guys are already well on your way to learning market profile. Okay, so let's see some real examples, okay? Give me just a moment. I'm going to bring up my chart here, okay? And while I'm doing that, I want you to type in, okay, ticker and time frame. I'm only going to take a handful. We've got a lot to cover yet today, okay? These are live charts, by the way. Sorry. So this happens to just be eSignal, but it could be any platform, and that's not what I'm not selling you anything on what you're seeing here. I'm trying to give you proof of concept. Okay, so does this look familiar? But this is live. We got our volume profile, just like I showed you in the PowerPoint, and then there's our levels. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these here. These are live coming in the chat. All right, and the first one coming in is, okay, crude oil. Okay, crude oil. Here's the daily chart of crude. All right, so now remember the rules of engagement. Remember what I said? Let's compare side by side before. I call this before and after because over here, we're going to call this BF before. This is the same chart. This is crude oil. And look, this is volume all by itself. And remember I told you volume is just a liquidity measure? Look at how volume does not tell you anything about what direction to trade, where the most popular prices are, or anything. But when you take volume, and I have it on this chart too, and we flip it sideways like we do over here on that right-hand chart, now all of a sudden we can see why the market's going sideways and taking a pit stop at these certain places. But look at with our proprietary levels, remember TAS boxes? Look at what we see, these huge follow-through moves up here, the breakdown move here. These are just monstrous moves, by the way. Okay, yeah. For those of you that trade crude oil, it's worth $1,000 per dollar a barrel. And let's just take a couple examples here. Like if you started getting long here, this is about 70 bucks a barrel. If you look over here, this is going back to middle of September. This thing ran all the way up to almost 77. That's almost a $7,000 move in about less than a month, it looks like. The breakdown trade, okay? Here you go. Getting short a little south of 72. Look where the market is here now. 60 in the 66 zone. Do the math. $6 move. That's a $6,000 move. Add it together. I mean, you're over $10,000 in a relatively short period of time. Now, this is just an example. This is daily. We could do any time frame you like. In fact, some people are saying, well, you know, bring up some shorter term charts. Sure, we can do, you know, super high velocity. Here's your 2-minute chart here. Fine. Here's your 2-minute chart here. Fine. Same. It doesn't matter. Again, look at how naked you are on the left. This is I do this explicitly so you can realize how little information you have if you're just going to go to battle with these markets only looking at volume. And I want you to appreciate how little volume does to actually help you make a trading decision beyond liquidity. So again, there's your volume. Okay, great. That doesn't help me as to what side to trade or anything. Meanwhile, market profile, we're flipping it sideways. Look at how the market goes sideways and gravitates to that popular zone. It offers support when the market's above, resistance when it's up, when the market's down below. Okay, so here we go, up, up, up and away, and now we're trading the short side. Okay, these are great places to think about breakout mode shorts, and as we press up inside our value areas, these are also places that you can consider hitting the sell button. Okay, so that's another one. Let's go take a look at just a couple more examples, okay, because I got lots to cover today. We're going to look at BABA. All right, okay, here comes BABA, and you got to put the time frame in, otherwise I'm just going to pick a random time frame. I have not looked at these, and the reason I do this exercise is so you can see that I'm not cherry picking. I can create a perfect PowerPoint presentation like many of my competitors do, but it's not my cup of tea. So here's the same chart here. Here's BABA, and here you go. I want you to pay attention to some of the moves here, okay? Again, appreciate you have no idea what direction to trade or anything here, but look at our big breakdown here. Ride it higher, and then this market, a key area to watch would be a break down below 142.76, okay? Awesome. And I could do that, by the way, I could look at these charts all day, but I know Jeanette would kill me. She knows I love these charts. I literally could sit and look at them all day with you, okay? Let's go look at Amazon, okay? Here we go. Here's Amazon, again, side by side. Would it be nice to have seen as the Amazon broke down below, what's this price here, about $17.67? That's over $20 ago. And again, look at the left, how little information, little warning you had when that thing tanked. But over here, look at that level was in there even before the move. But again, long when you're above the red line, out of balance in favor of the bulls, above the top red line, you trade that direction. And then here we go, bearish. Over here, you're on your own. You're on your own. Okay, let me get back to the presentation here, okay? Where did you go, presentation? Hold on. There you are, presentation. All right. Okay, so this stuff is proven and it works. That's the big thing I want you to see. That's the only reason I do that exercise. Literally, I could spend an entire Saturday with you. Maybe I will someday. But the stuff works, and it's literally used by thousands of professionals. Not hundreds, thousands every single day. Okay, but what if we could make this simplified even further so that even a third grader could make the same quality decisions as a Wall Street veteran using TAS Market Profile? Where do I get the third grader? I have my young man in my house is a third grader, and he knows how to leverage what I'm going to show you. And that's why I'm going to introduce you to the TAS Profile Scanner. It's Market Profile Simplified. It really is. That's why we created the product. And I'll tell you just a 1-minute story. The reason we created the TAS Profile Scanner is because one of our proprietary trading firm operations that love our indicators said, hey, it's great, but we're frustrated. We say, why are you so frustrated? Well, we're making a lot of money, so we really appreciate your products, but we're still really frustrated because at the end of the day, we're missing trades. There's so many great opportunities, we're missing them. So can you create a tool that can scan the market for us so we can find the best market movers and trades? that's our forte. We're a technology and trading company. So that's right up our alley. So we said yes, and we went to work and we created what is now known as the TAS Profile Scanner. Now with it, you can scan any stock in the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. You could scan major ETFs, futures, and forex markets. So this is not just going to help you with your stock trading, but it can give you confidence to pursue opportunity in a wide variety of markets. Best of all, and I think everybody will do a collective yeehaw when I say no extra platform or data required. We built this software where it literally install it. It takes about 33 seconds to install, and everything is already preloaded, built inside. Okay, and that's a beautiful thing. All right, so there's a mind-blowing array of features inside this thing, starting with the dashboard, which I'm going to show you the product here live in just a moment as well. So the dashboard is like kind of your mission control. It's where you go every day to look for the best trading opportunities. There's a trade matrix feature, which you are going to love. It allows you to rank risk reward of trades that are on the board, and it has explicit entry, stop, and targets for you. There's a top 10 list in there too that you're going to just love. The TAS Boxes analysis, remember those 3 lines? Those 3 lines, you can get that on the time frames that are available in the scanner, which, by the way, are weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 60-minute charts. I'm going to show you the landscape charts, which gives you multi-time frame confluence, market breadth, breadth odometers, ETF heat grid, and TAS says, my goodness, I don't know what to say other than, let's go see it live. I introduce you to your new trading companion, by the way. So this is that standalone piece of software, your new trading best friend. Look at all the red on the board. That's the first thing I want you to pay attention to. Why is there so much red there, do you think? Because the market's been down. So this thing has been spot on, keeping you in the bearish mindset in these stocks. Let me talk to you about kind of how this works, okay? I'm just going to kind of chalk up the screen a little bit here. You can see nothing's blinking and moving around because, well, it's Saturday. But during the week when the markets are alive and well, guess what? This thing is blinking at you. It is telling you what to do, and I'm going to show you exactly how right now. So I have up here the S&P and NASDAQ stocks, and you can see you've got the 4 timeframes covered in the scanner: weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 60. These are mission critical times that every trader needs to be aware of. Even if you're a short-term day trader, you need to be aware of the sentiment and what kind of tone is coming out, the bull or the bear. So what you can do here is, and I'm going to explain what you're seeing, the color of the sail right there, red color sail is bearish. The number is for how many consecutive bars it's been bearish. So let's take Agilent Technologies here, okay? Let me kind of get my cursor going here. I'm going to click on it. First thing I want you to notice is look what updated over here. This chart brought up, because I clicked right here, it brought up a weekly time frame. If I click daily, look it's bringing up a daily time frame. So this is a unique way for you to get our levels, and look at how effective they are. Remember, be long when you're above the red, put the stop opposite of the green, trail it up when new levels form. So it's buy, and you eventually get stopped out here. Now you're going to sell, and you're riding this thing down. Did everyone see that? Look at this. You got to appreciate this. So again, long up there, trail the stop, give it some breathing room. Up here, eventually you get stopped out, but you made money. And then now we're going to ride it this way. Take the stop. I call this the slinky trailing stop technique, and it gives you everything you need. The other thing that's really powerful is this. Now, down here in the bottom right, it's called the landscape view. And what this allows you to do is all in one single view, you can see those critical value areas. And remember, if you're below the demand area green line, bearish, 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 and it's only on the 60-minute time frame that it's starting to potentially offer up a buy signal. So this, you would have to go look at 4 separate charts with our product and your brokerage charting or whatever to get that same information. But with the landscape view chart, it's right there in front of you. Best of all, when you actually click on any of these other ones, like look at this here. I'm going to click on Accenture. Look at this line here. Yellow line represents where the market is. Below, 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 below. What do you think that stock is doing? It is going down, baby, down. So my customers all over the globe that are using this product to make decisions, while the rest of the world is trying to find a bottom and they're buying into this thing, guess what my customers are doing? Cleaning up, right? When there's blood on Wall Street, TAS bears come out to clean up. And it's so easy to see because you're bearish on weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 60. And you could see it's red color cells across the board. And you could see there's no reason whatsoever to be bullish. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can, in this market, a lot of people are like, where can I find value in the market? Well, come up here. Let's go see if we can find. Click, 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 click. How long did that take me to click that? I promised you 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, I went click, 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 click. And I narrowed down over 600 stocks down to 2. AJG and CBOE. These are the only 2 candidates, if I click on CBOE, across all of the S&P and NASDAQ that are bullish across all 4 time frames. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to look at 600 charts, and I hope you don't either. Using the scanner, you can quickly filter and find value even in an ugly bearish market. Let's go take a look at some of the other features I need to show you, because I will not sleep tonight if I have not had an opportunity to show you this. So this is called the Trade Matrix feature, and up at the top, this is when we did a presentation earlier this year with Jeanette and TradeThirsty. You should see, I should have probably poached out some of the emails and put it in this so you could see for yourself. We got emails from people that said, just going to the top 10 list that you see up here, these are your 5 biggest bulls for the day and then your 5 biggest bears for the day. Some of those people were saying in the first week, the first 2 weeks, they were making like 5 and 10-fold return on their investment in our product. Really, I mean, it was awesome. Now, I'm not going to tell you that on your first day of getting this product, you're going to master it and double your money. I'm not going to ever tell you that. I don't know what kind of markets we're going to have, but what I am going to tell you is that this is a sweet little tool that allows you to filter through the trades. Here's how it works. Down below, there's typically about 20 to 25 candidate trades on the board. Okay, and you can see we give you the symbol here. Here's Apple up top. The pattern available that's worthy of note is an uptrend support trade. So if you click it, first thing that's going to happen, it's going to update your chart over here on the right for Apple. It's going to update your landscape view. So everything on your chart is basically bringing Apple in focus. All right. This is saying the beta 50 is telling you at what pace the market is moving relative to the index. Now this is moving at 1.91. It's moving almost at 200% of the index. So the trade is the validation point, TVP, trade validation point. Get into this trade at 213.43. Invalidation point, your stop's at 210.18. See that where my cursor is? Expiration, we're shooting for a 225.75, which gives us a trap a little better than 1-to-1, 1.26. So not super exciting. You want the big risk rewards? Here's how you do it. Come over here, click that right there. On the board, you can see there's a 5-to-1 sitting up there with JD. It's a downtrend resistance trade. And now look at the pattern. Look what this market's done over here on the chart on the right. Down, 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 down. Okay? And the idea was given to you on a silver platter here. Again, short, 22.79 a share with a stop at 23.14. Explicit levels. And based upon that, you're going to get a better than 5-to-1 risk reward. In the top left, you can look for very particular types of entries, long or short, reversals, or breakouts. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. This is a standalone piece of software. I know many of you are like, does this integrate that platform? You don't need another platform. You can use this. Doesn't matter where you choose to trade. You're still going to need a brokerage account to deploy, but you can trade wherever you want to. This is not a plugin. This is a standalone piece of software. Now here is something that will blow you away. Okay. Now look, I'm going to tell you something. In my time in the business, nearly 2 decades, remember, I spent my time as an insider, as a professional. Okay. And you know what? In my time, I had ideas that I wanted to share, and I used to type up stuff and send it out through a very large email-based system. I had thousands of people following some of my services. And here's the reality. Here's the reality. Unfortunately, when you're doing human analysis, well, there's a human doing the analysis, so it's not always following the same rules. There's a lot of variance, and guess what? Life happens and pulls away even the best of market analysts. You know, there's this thing called golf. I like to try this game. Ever try it? Little white ball, you hit it about 400 yards into a little hole. Very frustrating endeavor. There's times, this is kind of a confessional, where on a Friday afternoon I saw a great idea, but my tee time was maybe 45 minutes away, and I didn't share the idea because I had to type it. And I didn't have time to type it up, share the idea, and not blow off my golf mates. Okay, now I'm not proud of that, But guess what it did? It made me make sure that there was a solution so that there was never out-of-date information relying on somebody to send me an email. I didn't want to have to hit the refresh button nonstop on my inbox waiting for somebody to send me my next idea. So guess what? We built what's called TAS Says, and this takes the human analyst out of the equation. So this over here on the right, you can see it gives you long-term view. This just happens to be JD, but we have it long-term, intermediate, and short-term view for every product in the scanner. It rewrites itself with over 400 permutations, means the commentary is only 60 seconds old ever. So now, unlike someone, waiting for an idea from somebody else, a human, and you hope the idea works for you and fits your risk tolerance and makes sense for your portfolio. Now, you, using our scanner, because we're a technology company, you can go find the market you want to trade and then use our analysis to tell you if it makes sense for you. So you see how you're in control? You're not getting a cookie cutter, universal buy. That's the big problem. And even the best of services out there, those that have thousands of followers. There's some services I know that have 20,000 followers. And I know the people that produce them. And I say, how in the heck do you guys get 20,000 people to get the same idea? You don't want to know the answer. So it's different. With TAS Says, we are customizing the analysis, the commentary to you, to what makes sense for you to trade, the markets you want to trade. And it's always 60 seconds. That's the oldest it ever is. It's not from Monday because someone didn't send you an email on Friday. And you get the information when you're looking for it, when you're on the computer. Okay, I'm going to show you just real quick, and then we're going to get back to the slides here. You can create your own custom board. Here's a My Trades board. You can put some candidate markets up here. You can see here's a few I've pegged. You can also create your own list. You see, here's my Steve list. I like commodities, as you can see. So here's 7 or 8 markets that I spend a lot of time on. You can create a list in about 2 minutes. You can create multiple lists. Here's the futures board. Again, I'm just giving you an idea of how that works. Here's the forex board, and here's the ETF heat grid. A lot of red there. This allows you to bring up some really neat things that I'm not going to have time to cover today, but I got news for you. I'm doing a special thing I'm going to talk to you about here in just a second. This is called market breadth, and this basically analyzes what percentage of the components of the index are bullish, bearish, or neutral. See that red line way up there? This is XLU. Anybody trade this? So when that red line right here, take a look. Red line shoots up and stays up. Look what the market's doing for this ETF. Down, down, down. Because you can see the vast majority of the component stocks of that ETF are bearish. Okay? It's bearish. So you get privy to kind of looking a few layers into that onion. Everybody else is just going to trade the index. Everybody else is just going to trade the S&P or the index for the ETF. You get to see when the tides are turning before anybody visibly can see it show up in the price. So it's a forward-looking way. We call it market internals for a reason, because it allows you to dive inside of the index. So no longer are you just following that last price of an ETF. You're going to see when the tides are turning before it actually shows up. You guys have some great questions, but we're going to save that for the interactive Q&A. Okay, so bear with me. All right, so I'm going to tell you something here. So you learned in I guess kind of 110-mile-an-hour fashion here today, given the time constraints, about market profile. And I'm going to tell you market profile and this scanner product, which is totally standalone with no extra data feeds or platform integration required. It's for traders who need better trading objectivity, who want to find high probability trades, who desire structure to every decision they make, for traders who seek confidence and market clarity, for traders who want to save valuable time daily. Remember that top 10 list. Remember all those ideas that the scanner will output to you, telling you where the biggest market movers are. There's no way in heck you're going to be able to find a lot of these market movers until it's too late if you don't have a tool based in software like what we have here. It's also for traders who want to use an institutional caliber edge. The same tools as used on Wall Street, on Bloomberg, again, and our thousands of institutional traders that probably do business with us as well. And it's for traders who are eager to maximize their potential. But the reality is it's not for traders who have already achieved their trading goals and don't see room for improvement, or just like to sit down on webinars on a Saturday and don't care about tools the pros use. You probably know best where you are. So I put together a heck of a deal here for you. This is a webinar special, by the way. And to appreciate this, I'm just going to kind of run down the list here. This is my value proposition. Okay, we're calling this kind of like a scanner and learning bundle because it's not just a scanner. You're going to be blown away with what I show you here. This is the best part. I have not even shown you yet one of the coolest parts about what's included in this package. Okay, so the TAS Profile Scanner software, $297 a quarter. That's not a month. That's not every day. So it works out to under $100 a month, an entire month. Which, let me ask you, how much do you risk on every trade you make? Type it in the questions box or the chat. I want to see $500, $300, $150, $1,000, 1%, $120. Okay, so, and you guys keep typing. Every single trade you make, again, follow me here. This product, $297 every quarter, is under $100 per month, and every single one of you have said on every single trade you make, you're risking more than $100. So doesn't it make sense that when you make that trade risk, that it's a good trade? Yes, I think so. So we're going to include the TAS Profile Scanner. It's a quarterly subscription, to be clear. Okay, so every 3 months, my company gets to make a whopping $297. We just looked at charts, right? That in a very short period of time, we're over $10,000 of opportunity. I think I might be getting the short end of the stick here. We might have to revisit our pricing model. You get the idea. The biggest opportunity is you with the product. The opportunity cost of not having it is also tremendous, as you can see. But I'm also going to put in this bundle for TradeThirsty and this webinar a 6-hour market profile video course. You get lifetime access to it. Okay, it's 6 hours. It is going to go into more depth. So like if you're hungry for really diving into more of the academics of market profile, we created the course for Bloomberg. We created it to train professional traders about our tools on the terminal, and it was so good and well done. We kept it for ourselves, and now I'm making it available to you. We sell it for $497. If you don't believe me, you can go to our website and see it. Don't do it because it's included in this bundle, but it's worth $500. 24/7 interactive online community. What is that? Let me show you. This is so much fun. So if you were wondering, you know, when you're oops, hold on, where did you go here? All right, let me real quick pop into the community here. Give me just a moment. This is our 24/7 community. Look at the top left here, 830 members up here, okay? And look what's going on here. People are sharing charts, okay? We've got some expert speakers that come in. I do a live stream. In fact, I do 6 live streams a week, okay, in these different rooms, people talking about options. These are industry experts that I've corralled through my nearly 2 decades in the business and said, hey, and they use TAS, by the way. Everything you see here, does this look familiar, by the way? Let me click on this. PJ is a good friend of mine out in Silicon Valley. Does this look familiar? This is an expert, a full-time professional trader out in San Jose that's sharing wisdom. You can chat with him. Does this look familiar? Look at this. Sharing information, and you will have the tool. So what we've created here, make no mistake about it, and this community is growing rapidly. I just launched it about a year ago, and 830 members are registered and in here exchanging information. I pop in there too, and let's take a look at the directory. You can see it's weekend, so people shouldn't be logged in, but you can see, I just want you to see all these people that are in here. Look at these names. I'm scrolling. People are enjoying their Saturday. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling. I mean, it goes on. And I'm looking for additional people to join me in this community. There's some really neat features built in here too. I'm not going to kind of get into that, but over here there's some really cool widgets that keep a calendar for you and all these things that you can kind of follow along what's going on. You can even play a game of Tetris if you want. The point is this. I'm not just selling you a piece of software and throwing you a manual and saying you're on your own. Okay, you have an entire community of users just like you that are using the same products, and I am one of the very few vendors literally in the industry that does this. Why do most vendors not let people connect with each other? Why do they not let people connect with each other? Because they're worried what their customer is going to say to another potential customer. They're worried that they can't keep it a secret that the product doesn't work or it underdelivers or it's pie in the sky. I'm not afraid of that. I've got the street credibility. I've got literally nothing to prove. And as I showed you in the presentation earlier, I probably could have just been just fine working on the institutional side of the business since 2011 with my partner, John. Literally. And this product would have disappeared forever in retail. But we didn't turn our back. We did not turn our back on retail. And in fact, we're growing our retail business exponentially. I'd like you to be a part of it. So you get the software. You get the 6-hour, $500 lifetime access video course through TradeThirsty. You get access to that 24/7 interactive online community. You can log in. It's literally open right now. When you sign up, you can come in there and start chatting if somebody's hanging around the computer on a Saturday. But you also, guess what? Every single week, with the exception if I'm traveling on a plane, I'm 30,000 feet in the air, every single week, I do 6 live streams every week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are my days that I'm available in the morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and again at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can connect with me on YouTube Live for my live streams. And that's a great way to come and bring a question and say, hey, Steve, on the scanner, I'm looking at crude oil, I'm looking at Apple. You know, what do you see? I'm looking at the daily. And I will tell you, you know, as is, candid, that's my style. There's no other style you get out of me. So do you see what we've put together here? A great tool. It's going to save you money and find the biggest market movers. A video course on demand. You can work through that at your own pace. An interactive online 24/7 community. It's always open. Okay? You can, you know, many of you folks are joining, it sounds like. Some of you are already going. All right, Marcus already bought. Awesome. Jeannie, all right. So a couple of you. How many have already bought? You've already gone to the link. Wow. That didn't take long. Dave, okay, good. Thank you. I'm looking forward because it's going to get to my last bullet here. Okay, so here's the bonus, okay, and this is for those that sign up today. You have to do this today, okay, because this is a private session I'm going to do. The bonus if you sign up today, and to get there, by the way, go down to the bottom there. You'll see that link, okay, TradeThirsty.com/profile. That's going to take you where you get to pay a whopping $297. And you should be thankful to pay that and thank TradeThirsty because you're going to find all kinds of opportunities. But if you sign up today, the extra bonus for those that sign up today, and I do mean today, is I'm doing a fast track session. So a fast track session is a live session. You get invited to a private interactive webinar. And it's going to be this Thursday, November 1st at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That's right when we ring the bell on Thursday. But I don't want people that don't have the product in there. I want you to have the scanner because I'm going to be bringing up the scanner. We're going to be looking through how to filter. I'm going to show you the process I go through. I'm going to show you the process that I go through to find trades through the scanner and then how to put together a strategy to place my initial stop and beyond. So it's a bonus fast track session with me, okay? It doesn't get any better than this. It really doesn't. Again, you do not need a platform. You do not need a separate data subscription. I know we're always so used to every time we get a cool new tool, then we got to also sign up for another subscription. The scanner, and I'll bring it up just to show it to you again here. Where'd it go? There we are. The scanner is all in one box, and it's software. So you get into the software, and everything you need is right there. Okay, so now I'm at the that very important part of the presentation. This is interactive Q&A time, and since I'm the last, I think I might get just a few extra minutes. So hit me with your questions. I'm going to do my best to answer all of the questions, and I'm going to bring back the slide here because many of you are asking for the URL, and I look forward to seeing you. Michael, awesome. Michael, I'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for joining. Look forward to working with you. Let me bring up the, there we go. So here's the link down at the bottom in big yellow. Sign up at TradeThirsty.com/profile. TradeThirsty does a fine job. They handle all your membership and subscription stuff, so we can do what we do best, which is give you a fantastic product, train you how to use it, and give you that ongoing support. Okay, here's the questions. Okay, question for BC. Is the fast track session recorded because you're traveling on that day? Yes, we record it and make it available to you. No problem at all. It's you have access to a private member portal. Everyone that signs up, you get access to a private member portal at TradeThirsty, and after we record that session, they have it available to you. Great question. So travel away and know that you won't miss out. Michael's got a question. I'm in the UK and trade UK equities. Does this work for your exchange? It's S&P, NASDAQ, major US ETFs, futures, and forex. It's not your markets locally there. In the future, we may consider adding some other exchanges. Vince is asking, can I use it in TradeStation? You don't need TradeStation for it. TradeStation is a fine platform for your execution, but you don't need it to access the software. George says, do you have a way to pay with PayPal? I can use PayPal credit, not pay for 6 months. Nope, it's $297, and you just use a card there. It is a recurring subscription. Yes, we assume our customer retention rate is very high. Satisfaction is high, and most of the time when people get access to our products, with the exception of, you know, whatever a life circumstance, most of the time people keep our product and want to keep our product. So everything's an automatic recurring subscription. We assume you want to keep it unless you tell us otherwise. But there's no long-term contracts. This is, again, a quarterly membership. Other questions? It does scan all the stocks. It's perpetually scanning all of the instruments and updating it. A lot of you are asking if it works with your platform. Again, no matter what platform you're on, as many of you are saying, does it work with this platform or that platform? It doesn't matter. That's the beautiful thing about the scanner. We're a technology and software company. The beautiful thing about that, with our own in-house programmers, we have our own in-house team here. It's not just little old me here plugging away on the computer. I'm just the guy that signed up to give webinars on Saturdays. I'm kidding. If you missed it at the beginning, I'm president of TAS Market Profile, by the way. So I'm not only a user of the product, as you, of course, would expect, but I view it to be my job to get the good word out about the product. Who better than me? It does forex as well. Good question. Scott's saying that you've been checking out our products some years ago, and we didn't have the scanner. It's one of our newer products. In recent years, we created it. Yes. Where do you find the entry, exit, stop price? That'd be in the trade matrix feature. The trade matrix feature, which is by default available to you when you get the scanner. I can show you a little teaser of that again real quickly if you'd like. Just very quickly. You guys are awesome. Here you go. So you come up here and click the matrix, and here you go. See how it opens up? We even give you some stuff. I ran short of time to show you all of these. This is where that fast track session on Thursday, this Thursday, will come into play. I'm going to go dive into greater detail on what a Q score. That means quality score. Trap, that's risk reward. This is where you get it. A lot of red, a lot of short side trades here as I scroll down. But again, this is basically I call it kind of a trade idea board. And then from here, you can look at the trades and determine that obviously the share price needs to be a suitable fit for you. Some of these could be very expensive stocks, but find those that are in your wheelhouse. What about options? We could put it again with the ideas that are put out here. You can put together any type of option strategy you want. I mean, just think about the usefulness of knowing whether the market is bullish or bearish for the long-term horizon or intermediate-term horizon, and then you put together an option strategy around that. Remember, option strategies, there's so many permutations of strike prices and intrinsic values and just strategies that you can put together. This does not give you the strategy. It gives you the market perspective, bullish, bearish, and in what time horizons, which would still be very, very useful for any option trader. I presume you'd like to know whether the market's going to go up or down before putting on your puts or calls or bull call spread or bear put spread. Sandra, you summed it up perfectly. Sandra says, so the software finds the ideas and then you make the trades on your own trading platform. Yes, this is not an execution platform. This is basically your trade idea finder tool, okay? Again, it's going to help you filter the market. Let me show you again if you missed it earlier. We're in an ugly market right now, right? It's been challenging. It's been bearish. But if you're looking for a couple candidates that are bullish on all 4 time frames, somehow beating the odds, look at click, 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 click. I said, I narrowed it down to 2 by doing that, and you could do that throughout the day if you're looking for that type of, but there's just no, the reality is that there's just no way you would even find those 2 stocks. But with the scanner, you could, and you can, and you will. So you summed it up perfectly. This is a way to give structure to your trading, because remember the levels over here where my cursor is. Okay, so I'm on the main dashboard again. Okay, remember, these are those all important levels. The reason I did that market profile exercise was so that you can understand that in the scanner, when you now are relying upon these all important 3 colored lines, you understand it's not just randomness that these lines are created. There's a lot under the hood that then powers those simple lines on the chart. Because as you can see, we didn't clutter up the chart. I only went to the charts earlier to show that before and after, so you are believers in it. Those were your charts. Those were not mine. I did not, most of the people that are out there that don't have faith in their product typically are going to go and find like a really good example and put it on their PowerPoint, from like a week ago. And when I do these, and Jeanette knows this as well, that I just go to the live markets, and it's kind of a unique thing. She does a lot of webinars, but I'm probably one of the few that I'm willing to just show it like it is. Question, can you create your own list? Yes, let's go create a list real quick, because I think that's a good one. I want to show you how quick and easy it is, okay? Does anyone want to create a list? Let's do it. Okay, so I'm coming here. I'm going to go to the home page. Kind of like your home thing. Let's go to new list. All right, what are we going to call our list? We're going to call it, of course, TradeThirsty. There we go, TradeThirsty. TradeThirsty. Okay. All right, let's add an instrument. Well, let's add Apple. I mean, come on. Okay, let's try Amazon. Okay, good. I don't know, anyone like corn or something. You just type in whatever you want. Look how quickly we're doing this, and let's do crude oil or something. There's crude. Okay. I don't know, Swiss. There's a Swiss. I'm gonna hit save. Fine. And then we can go to our list super quickly and easily right here. Look at it. We also can add it where it's always available very quickly right here. So I click this, watch this, I can add that so it's always available. Here it is, TradeThirsty, save it. Now watch, see that right there? Now it's always right there, always visible to you on the left. Super slick right here. Look at, there's that list. You quickly can get to it at any time, and you can have multiple lists. You can have a Monday list, a Wednesday list, a bull list, a bear list, break it up however you want. Futures. Kadar is asking, do you give price targets on the stocks? And yes, in that matrix, trade matrix, you get targets on the trades as well. Again, to go over that again, everything you need in here, and the reason I'm doing that fast track session is to basically answer all those questions. It's a very interactive thing, so that's why those that sign up here today, TradeThirsty is going to give me a list of folks that signed up here today, so I know who to invite to that private session. And we're going to take all your questions. I'm going to show you the process I go through. And then, of course, each of you have your own brokerage accounts at your preferred brokerages. You execute at your regular brokerage houses. Gray box means you're inside the value area. So if you click here, look at this. So the gray right here, let me click it. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts. Look at, we're gray on all these time frames, except, see the green one right here? Let's understand why. You guys are getting it already. Look, and you've only seen this product for what? An hour? So it's gray. See how this equates to what's going on down here? Because look, we are inside the weekly, daily, and 4-hour. That's why it's gray. This also tells you how many bars it's been inside there. But it's green because we are in the bull camp on that shorter term 60-minute. So the number it represents for how many consecutive bars it's been in that. So look at this here. See, it's 17 right now. The number 17, green and a green cell. You put it together like this. It's powerful stuff. I'm sorry I get a little excited here because for some of you, this is going to change the way you trade forever, and that always excites me. So you're bullish. That's why it's green. But then you look over here. Count that. If you were to count that, that'd be 17 consecutive bars closed above that value area, that red line, which we know means we want to trade bullish if you're on the 60-minute time frame. And look what the market's done. It's been good to be long on that particular time frame. Up here, you can bring any time frame you want. One good question is, is there other trading tools or indicators built in here? This is not designed to replace your comprehensive brokerage charting indicators and tools and some great techniques taught earlier today in the sessions using some off-the-shelf indicators. That's great. This is not designed to replace that. We kept it laser focused on market profile. We kept it laser focused on market profile for a good reason, because that's our expertise, and we want to keep it clean, keep it simple, because I think that's where people go wrong. They get overwhelmed, paralysis through analysis, all that. The time frames, weekly, daily, 4 hour, and 60 in the scanner, okay? Another question, where do you execute? You got to execute through your brokerage. We're not a brokerage house. We're not a brokerage platform. Remember, we're going to give you structure and help you generate some ideas with high probabilities. That's what we're doing. It works on the S&P 500, NASDAQ, ETFs, commodity futures, and forex. So talk about coverage. This, unlike a lot of products that are out there, I'm really proud of this actually, because there's actually some really good tools out there that might work on a particular market or a particular time frame. Like we see this of the E-mini S&P. There's a lot of people that peddle a little widget for trading the E-mini S&P, and it does work pretty good for a 3-minute chart on the E-mini S&P on Wednesdays. So provided you don't want to trade the E-mini S&P on a 3-minute chart and Wednesdays don't work for you, you've got a problem. What we've built is a structure. We look at us as kind of being the company that gives you kind of the blueprint for how you're going to build your house every day. You're not going into the market without a plan. You're going to filter. You're going to focus your energies on those markets that have probabilities. It's just a simple quarterly plan. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. There's no Is there a monthly plan? There's not a monthly plan. Nope, it's a quarterly plan and a great value at that. This deal, again, I'm going to go back in and bring up this here. And I do, before this leaves the screen, I do advise that if you haven't already, head on over to TradeThirsty.com/profile and get the deal, because you ain't going to get all these goodies if you wait too long. Again, a $500 course. I mean, that alone, you're basically a winner right away because you're going to get a $500 course. You're instantly gonna be starting. You can start taking that course right away. So you're going to get the scanner, the 6-hour course. Again, the 24/7 interactive online community. Nobody else does that. Nobody else connects their customers with other customers, and that is the truth. Most people like to really kind of put. I like that dog collar thing when your dog gets some surgery. Most people kind of like to put that on their customer, so you can't see anybody else or whatever. Because we're not afraid here at TAS. I'm not, as you have saw earlier. I'm not afraid to get out there and make the rounds. I've been in probably 15 different cities this year on a variety of different stages, from institutional to private events, and some other venues that you probably are very familiar with. No trial for this deal. It's a good deal as is. At $297 and you're getting a $500 course, I think that's a win, and you get 3 months access to the product. My stance kind of on that is, if it's not worth it to you to spend $297 to be a better trader, to make better decisions over the next 3 months, then I have failed miserably at presenting the value of this product. Four time frames: weekly, daily, 4 hour, and 60. Plenty of day traders use this product. I think it's errant logic to say that it can't help you if you're a day trader. Remember, would it be valuable for you to know If a market is bullish across 4 longer-term time frames, if you know anything about trading, as many of you I know do, you know that longer-term time frames take precedence over shorter term. You know, just like in boating, right? Bigger boat gets the right of way because they turn slower. So if the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 60 are bullish, I got to tell you what, if I'm going to trade a 5-minute chart, I'm going to be on the only long entries only. That's for sure. The video course is the market profile video course. It's not a scanner course. The quarterly membership includes access to the online community, correct? My streams, which are fed on YouTube Live. The bonus fast track session, which I'm doing this Thursday when they ring the bell, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. You got to be a buyer today for that one. Dan, I hear you loud and clear. Dan says this, and you know what? We hear this from a lot of people. He says, I used to hate market profile. You have opened my eyes, thanks. Hey, that means a ton. It means, Dan, that we're doing our job. And really our job is simple. We are we're the modern day market profile standard, really. And the reason why Bloomberg and professional traders come to us for market profile are the same reasons that I hope you come to us for market profile, is that we've taken a very valid way of trading, market profile, right? You see the profound difference between just looking at volume by itself versus pulling in that element of knowing at what prices all that activity is happening. And then we've created tools to make it simple. That's why we created TAS Boxes, those 3-line levels. That's why we created the scanner to then save you time and still give you the levels inside there. So we're the market profile simplified guys, if you want to do that. We don't have, we've got a lot of people in attendance here, and a whole bunch of you have already signed up. I'm flattered, actually. And that's not, you know, I don't do this on Saturday for that reason. I mean, look, I guess that's all nice and stuff, but, you know, really this is planned for the long ball and for the long term. I want to inspire you to see that market profile is something you can learn. It doesn't have to be so scary, and you don't have to put it in the camp like so many others do, which is, oh, market profile is only for the pros. It's too complicated. I've seen those letters flying all over the chart. I don't know. You saw here today that it doesn't have to be that complicated. It can be simple. To clarify, the 6-hour course is a market profile course. It is of utmost importance. The learning to use the scanner we do in our fast track sessions, 6 live streams every week. Again, you're going to have plenty of opportunity to come in and ask questions, see it live. That's the way we've gone. You know, we used to do manuals to train people, but no one reads anymore. Then we do videos, and then really the demands of our customers is live interaction. So that's why you'll find us on YouTube Live 3 days a week, in the morning and afternoon. You will be hard pressed to find a more comprehensive package, certainly at this price point, at under the equivalent of $100 a month anywhere in this business. Okay, trade rooms can be $300 a month. A scanner, it alone can be $300 a month. Other scanners out there. Courses, well, that's about the going rate for a course, $500 to maybe $1,500. Live streams that regularly have a price tag. It's really, I probably have undershot the value, to be honest with you. But the core product of this, the tangible, is the scanner. That's really what's going to be kind of your, I call it kind of your personal trade navigation system, okay? So you got people in this company. It's not just me. A lot of people, because I couldn't get the webcam going here for this presentation. I sit here and I got 8 screens behind me here in my satellite office, and you'll see that when you come to my live streams, you'll be able to see kind of my mug, as you will. live, talking to the webcam, showing you how to leverage the tool and all that good stuff. Don't worry about that. All that comes later. This is really just to make sure you understand. If you embrace the concept of market profile, there's no better vendor out there in the market profile space than us. Call me a little biased, but I think our street credibility with Bloomberg and on the street speaks for itself. I really don't have to press too hard on that one. Regarding the charts are simple. We just give you the TAS boxes intentionally to keep it clean. We're not putting the volume profiles up there. For those of you, some of you have said that you love the deal, but this is a busy time of the year. For a couple of you said the same thing, so you don't want to sign up. I would not advocate that. It's a good deal today. Some things are worth it even if you can't use it right away. So if you're busy, we hear this from the accountants, of course, in the spring and so forth, and this is definitely not one to pass up here today. So lock it in. I mean, it will deliver. I mean, again, coming back to what I said earlier, how much are you risking every time you trade? So if you're going to make one trade in the next 3 months, make it a good one, and it pays for itself. We do not have cryptocurrencies in here because cryptocurrencies do present some challenges, at least as we have it right now. We've adapted now the product, to give you an example, we've adapted the product to deliver outputs for currencies, spot currencies, because we've adapted it to analyze time at price. But cryptocurrencies, remember that there's no kind of centralized place where we can get volume data on cryptocurrencies. Obviously, there's a wealth of independent exchanges out there online, and we haven't identified the exact way that we'd pull in cryptocurrency. So the answer is no to cryptocurrencies. Question, does the scanner work on Thinkorswim? Don't need this is not a plug-in to any of the platforms, just to reiterate. This is a standalone piece of software. I'm going to give you another look at it here now. This software is not a plug-in. You do not need a platform or data subscription. This is all of our own proprietary derivatives and algorithms basically piled into a tool. Here's your matrix. Again, looking at all these things. Here's your ETF heat grid, just to give you a little teaser here. Okay, and you can click into these. On Thursday, I'll be diving into market breadth, showing you how to leverage this information here in a webinar like this. I can't really go in great detail, but look what happens here. This is XLP ETF, and as that red line climbs up, that's telling you, look at the percentages grow, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. This is just yesterday. 90% of the stocks inside of this ETF were bearish. Well, look what's happening. Market's going down, 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 down. So instead of, but you start getting that information back here when the market was still. This is a line chart down below. So let me highlight this yet again. Market's taken off to the upside, and then the market goes down. So you see how powerful that information is? So it allows you to look inside the layers of the onion, not just look at the outside price of the index or ETF. So powerful. It's called market internals for that reason, because you're looking inside. I'll be teaching more about that. So today, your biggest decision is really twofold. Okay? The first is, do you see enough value for under $100 a month equivalent for our quarterly $297 a month scanner package? Most of you said you risk that or about that, and a whole lot more for some of you every time you trade. So being able to leverage market profile in this way, again, coming back to this here, this is our way as we're market profile experts here. Make no mistake about it. When somebody is looking for a market profile expert, ask my PR and media guy, Jake here internally. I'm usually at the podium doing some talking. So here's again, for those of you that are getting the product, and thank you on behalf of me and my entire company, thank you to those of you that have had confidence here today to join for this special offer. I look forward to you getting the product, playing with it for a couple days, and starting that video course on market profile. The scanner training, remember, we deliver through video-based training, but mostly interactive. Okay, you're going to come to my live streams, come to the online 24/7 community. Again, just to kind of reiterate that again, see if I can find that up here. I'm just going to show you it real quick. And this is where you can connect with like-minded traders that are using the same product as you. There's a whole bunch of chats going on here from Friday. I haven't read these ones yet. But again, people are sharing chats. These are people that are, in many cases, are long-time users, multi-year users, 10-year users. And there's great ways to kind of learn and pick up some tips and tricks from people that are a little further down the path. There's some different rooms. You can come in, and here's options focus room. And look, these are from the scanner. People, again, these are traders that just love trading as much as we do, and they love our products as much as we do. And 830 people, this is where they call home to come and share information about market profile the TAS way. So we're not afraid. Look at all this. This is all really great information here. And Pete is a dear friend of mine. He's doing a fine job of teaching what he learns or knows about the product. So you get the idea. See how that works? All right, I'm going to head on back to this one here. They're telling me. All right, here you go. Here's your last chance, okay, unless you jot it down. But you got to do it today, okay? I need you to come on over to http://TradeThirsty.com/profile. I'd love to have you. It's my personal challenge to you. Personal challenge to you is to give it a try. The tool is actually quite simple once you get just a little help. And again, just to reiterate, the training we do in our live sessions, it's really that simple. We want it to be interactive. We've added so many features and functionality that if we wrote the manual, we would have rewritten the manual about 10 times by now. So the TAS Profile Scanner, it works on stocks, S&P 500, NASDAQ, ETFs, commodity future, and forex. It trades the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and 60-minute time frame, which are key time frames for any trader to know. And you can see what you get here. Good question from Joe. Can you stop anytime? Yes, there's no long-term contract. Now it's quarterly. So when you pay today, you're good for 3 months. So you're paying for 3 months of access. But if for some reason you decide it's not right for you at the end of the term, you don't renew. Reach out to the fine folks at TradeThirsty. Let them know that it's not a good fit for you, which I doubt would be the case. But, life circumstances. Usually, when I look at people who don't go on to keep our products forever, it's usually a life circumstance or something. They're not in a position to trade, or I hate to say it, but a death in the family or something. And, it's a life circumstance that just doesn't make sense that somebody is trading and using our product, therefore. So inside the scanner, you can create custom lists, search, quick search markets. If you just want to really hone in on it, there's a search window there. That's a good question as well. I'll show you. Here it is. So up here, say you're looking for Amazon, you can quickly get to it, and then it'll bring up just Amazon. See? Bearish for 3 weeks. Bearish for 1 day in the daily. The 240, bearish. And then inside the value area on the 60. And you can also see it down here, right down here. And I can't impress upon you. This ends up being kind of an overlooked feature, but for many it's a very powerful and important feature right here. This TAS says, again, to recap what that is, instead of waiting for a smarty pants market analyst that you pay a subscription fee to send you an email and hope he sends it to you in a timely manner, and you hope it's not a cookie cutter for everybody. What we do here with TAS Says is we have powerful algorithms here, okay? So you're leveraging computers here, computers and our proprietary algorithms, the same ones that, again, our institutional traders are using. And this thing perpetually pumps out commentary. It's always refreshed every 60 seconds. So again, just to draw a contrast, because again, I used to write them, some very significant advisory services, and I had a confessional with you here today that the problem with a human-derived advisory service in many cases can be the human itself, because life happens, and being human is tough sometimes, and we get sick, and we have golf games to work on, and families to tend to, and that's unfortunately can bleed into the timeliness of some information. Not to mention it's just impossible to put together a strategy that really is a suitable strategy for every single person that may be following it. So what we've done here is, remember, you're going to use the scanner to identify and nail down. I happen to have this on Amazon. So the information is specific to Amazon with a long-term, intermediate, and short-term view written up for you, 60 seconds old. So the search is just up here, and you can clear the search and everything else come back if you hit clear. See? Just a little search window right up here. You do not need a data source to drive the scanner, because what you're looking at here, notice that we're not giving you market quotes. We're giving you our proprietary levels, okay? And we control and own those. So, this is not to be your quote vendor. It's not going to replace your quotes on your chart. It's not going to replace your comprehensive charting on your brokerage platform. It's designed to give you levels, filter through those levels based around the information known as TAS Market Profile. And beyond. You got it. Yes, many, yeah, we've got, correct, we have many thousands of users. I don't know what the head count is, but I know it's a lot. All right, guys, you've been great. I've ran way too long, and my apologies to TradeThirsty for being long-winded. But I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm going to bring up one last time here for you folks. Again, this is it. This is it. Your last chance. $297. That's a quarterly subscription. Means you pay $297 today. You're good for 3 months. You're not going to have to pay a penny more. You get the scanner, which in itself is $297 a quarter, the $500 market profile video course, 24/7 interactive online community, my weekly live streams, and the bonus fast track session, which I'm doing on Thursday morning for everybody that signs up here today. And you don't want to miss that. That's going to be a great way to kind of navigate through your learning curve very quickly. All right, thank you. Thanks for having me, everyone. I reach out to the fine folks at TradeThirsty. They are just they're literally my favorite group to deal with, because they get it. They get it, and if you think about what TradeThirsty does, they introduce you to talented educators and people that got products like we're here today, Scott, Brian, and Matt. Please do consider all of the fantastic offers of all the presenters here today, and I'm going to pass back the mic to Jeanette, and